Well, my quest for parts for the little Yanmar diesel on the Contraption project continues. There wasn't a whole lot of interest expressed, in the previous video where I featured this, where I asked the viewers to help me in a parts search. I did get some feedback. The Shade Tree Fix-It Man, George, had a couple of good leads for me to check out, and I thank you for that, George, if you're watching. A couple others had some suggestions. A buddy of mine in the Tractor Club, Power from the Past, Daryl, knows of a company that manufactures pistons and rod bearings for the hit and miss engine world. He seemed to think that they'd be a good candidate to help me out as well. So I'm going to conclude the viewer participation portion of this project concerning a parts search. It's been several weeks now, and like I said, I didn't get a whole lot of feedback, so we'll just call that right there, and I'll continue on solo, and we'll see where this goes. Remember this guy? And I said in the video where I concluded the restoration of this Vise, or the refurbishment rather, that I was still trying to make up my mind where I was going to put this. If you'll recall, Steve at Firehouse Custom Fabs is the fellow that manufactured the new jaws for this. In fact, over on his channel right now, he just posted the first part of a two-part video series where he actually makes those jaws. So I'll leave a link in the description for Steve's channel, and that's that particular video. Well, anyway, I figured out where I'm going to put this vise. Let me show you. In keeping with the mobile farm shop theme of the pump jack trailer, I thought, you know what? That old cold vise is period correct, or close enough to period correct. So I thought, hey, that would make a great addition to this trailer display and make it more functional. So I went around this thing looking for a suitable location, and I've decided that back here on the right rear of the trailer would be a good spot. Everywhere else is kind of cluttered and too close to rotating machinery. It will be somewhat close to the pump jack here, but to far enough away, I don't think it'll be an issue. So I've already made up a mounting bracket that I'm thinking about putting right about there, which would make a good spot to mount this vise. So yeah, let's see how that goes. And I'll show you more when I get more done. The original color of this vise was pretty close to the green that I painted it. I found a pretty close match. And however, since I decided to mount this on the pump jack trailer, which is all IH, including the 1927 International truck chassis that it all sits on, I thought a John Deere or Oliver green vise would really look out of place on an IH themed rig. So as you can see, I'm scuffing this up with 220 grit sandpaper, and I am going to paint it colors more in keeping with the IH theme. So there you go. Yeah. More to follow. Stick around. Well, I think that's going to work. Right where I want it, I'm going to go ahead and put the anvil base on there and lay out the hole, the 3/4 inch hole that holds the whole thing down. And yeah. So far, so good. I'll bring you back for more. I do believe that's going to work. Got a 5/8 bolt See that flat washer in there, lock washer, and big nut under here. I'll probably throw a tack weld on there just for insurance. But yeah, that's going to work just fine. Oh, and incidentally, the angle iron bracket that I made, that's from scrap, naturally, on this channel. I rearranged the furniture a little bit today for better access. I wanted that Farmall H closer to the door, so when I start wrenching on it, I'm not walking so far. Originally I was going to drag it into the shop, but for now I'm not. I think I can at least get it running sitting here, and once it's running I'll drive it in, because when I built this shop I should have made provisions to put a winch in the back of it, and I didn't. I probably still could drill some. The concrete in the back of the shop's reinforced because I was going to put a lift in here, which I am still going to do. So I can probably drill the concrete out and get some heavy concrete anchors and put that about 1,000-pound winch I got sitting on the shelf there, and I can winch things in. That would be helpful. But anyway, there you go. It opens up my lane a little bit there for driving in and out. I also got the circular drive there. But yeah. Stuff and things. I think I better stop right here and clean up this mess, because it's getting out of control and I can't find anything. When I went to school back in the day, 5/16 of an inch had a decimal equivalent of 312 thousandths, which is validated to this day on my Starrett inch metric tap drill sizes and decimal equivalents. 5/16 equals 312 thousandths. Well, not too long ago I bought this crossbed gull wing toolbox, the old venerable Dodge, and the pre-drilled holes in it were for 5/16 fastener to mount it to the bed rail. So I went and bought some 5/16 J-bolts, or so I thought. Package said 5/16. They looked like they were 5/16. And I was going to thread them all the way down to the hook and then cut off the excess, because there's a bit of a reach between where they go through the body of the toolbox and then hook onto the bed rail. Well, they're not 5/16. If I can work my calipers here. All right, that is, let's see. That is 289 thousandths, not 312 thousandths. And what tipped me off to that is I got my tap and die set out and I started threading on down the shank. And then when I was done, I noticed, wait a minute. See, I got good threads up there. But when I get down here, they're all rounded off. So I checked the adjustment on my die, because they are adjustable. And then I got an old 5/16 bolt out and tested it to make sure I wasn't taking off too much. And it was perfect. Just barely cleaned and skimmed the threads on the new one, or on the old bolt rather. So I thought, what the heck is going on here? Well, what's going on here is lack of quality control. Now I can understand, actually, yeah, 200, can you see that? 289 thousandths. Now I could understand a tolerance of, 2 or 3 thousandths on a fastener. But let's see, 12, 22, 32, 33 thousandths? No. So, and of course, you can guess the country of origin on these. So what I will probably do, since it's 289 thousandths, I could probably repurpose this to like quarter 20 or quarter 28 should I have the need. But if they can't get the tolerance straight for 5/16, I really doubt if the metallurgy, I really doubt if the metallurgy is any good either. So where tolerance and metallurgy are questionable, I have a specific container for those items. They don't call me the scrap whisperer for nothing. So what I ended up doing was making my own J-bolts out of true 5/16 stock. That's my rant. Well, let's try this again. That's 279 thousandths of an inch, not 289 thousandths. What was I thinking? Maybe I better learn how to read dial calipers, or at least clean my glasses. Good grief. Well, this is starting to resemble more IH coloring all the time. So, yeah. Looking good. I'm not the steadiest of hand when it comes to lettering. Fortunately, those are raised letters. I was out of cotton swabs and I couldn't find my little sponge, so I cut down acid brush. And it's okay, but you can see some imperfections. Anyway, Goslin Farms. Ed Goslin. I'll give his channel a shout out. I'm there every day, and we banter quite a bit in the comments with a good group of folks. Ed and his family run a cattle operation up in Oregon. And anyway, we got to talking about stuff, and he's in the process of building a spray rig for the field work that they do up there. And he was working on some connections, and he was using a liquid electrical tape with a brush applicator. And I happened to offhand mention in the comments that I use this stuff frequently. I've got a spray can, and he said, spray can? Never heard of a spray can. Well, I told him, yeah, CRC makes it. And I gave him a couple of links. Harbor Freight carries it, and Gardner Bender, and I said CRC. Well, I couldn't find CRC anywhere, so I dug into my stash this morning. Spray liquid tape. I thought it was CRC. I've had this a couple of years. Nope. Gardner Bender. Sorry, Ed. I kind of sent you on a goose chase if you're looking for CRC. Mine is Gardner Bender. Spray liquid electrical tape. Works like a champ. So there. All right. Time to get this vise mounted on the pump jack trailer. Now, I like that a lot. Naturally, as soon as I turn the camera on, the wind picks up. That turned out really well. I am very happy with that. I like the way it looks. And it's going to be fully functional. I did miscalculate a little bit. The handle will hit the mud flap, but I'm not worried about that because there's just one pin. I pull that pin, lift the mud flap out, and then I can crank that handle all day long without interference from the mud flap. So perfectly functional. I did on the lock screw here for the swivel on the vise, where it also holds it into the anvil portion of it. On that lock screw and on the screw, the caps that screw onto the handle, I did put some blue Loctite on those because, you know, vibrating down the highway or with machinery running and all the vibration, I didn't want any of that to work loose. So, and you can see the braze repair I did on the anvil portion a while back. That really pops with that black paint. So yeah, I'm very happy with that. And I can still take a wrench, even though it's Loctited, that blue Loctite, I can still take a wrench and loosen that and swivel this vise 100 or 360 degrees if I wanted to. But anyway, so that's going to be fully functional. I still have to hook up to the hitch and back this thing around to the front door of the shop. My welding leads don't reach out this far, but I want to throw a tack weld on that nut and on the bolt that holds this to the bracket, just for a little insurance. Again, vibration going down the road or vibration from rotating machinery. But yeah, I'm very happy, and I think it matches the rest of the rig well, and I think it's close enough to period correct that it'll go well with the rest of the display. Yeah. I want to say a quick thank you. I got some new subscribers that have showed up here in the last couple, 3 weeks. Thanks for joining us. Hope you're having fun. And of course, to my subscribers that have been with me a long time, thanks for sticking around. I hope you're having fun. I know I am. And yeah, it's just I enjoy having you watch the videos and bantering with me in the comments, and I hope you continue to enjoy the content and see what I'm up to here on the old ranch. But I think this video is getting kind of long, so I'm going to wrap it up here. There will probably be other features to this trailer from time to time. I got a big grinder I got to find a place for. I got to pull that air compressor head off and unstick that. That's for another day, another time. So again, thanks for joining me, and we'll see you soon on the next one. Bye for now, everybody.